Hey everyone. So for this week's topic with immersive learning environments, we're going to go over just a breakdown of what that consists of, some of the personal experiences I've had with it, as well as benefits, drawbacks, and how we can use that on multiple learning levels for multiple learners. So for a breakdown, an immersive learning environment. Our learning scenarios constructed via a variety of technology, techniques, and tools, especially with technology becoming increasingly integrated within education. We see this being used quite frequently. And so, examples of this could include game based learning, simulations, and interactive scenarios that help immerse the learner in their current subject at a deeper level. And this helps with engaging the participant on a visual, cognitive, and auditory level. And I want to note that this can be used through all ages of learners, so K through 12, collegiate, as well as folks who are working within training simulations. And so I interact with immersive learning environments frequently as I work within an online college admissions department as an advisor. And so, we are working with students on a daily basis with helping them become integrated into working in a virtual campus and learning on a remote platform. But we're also learning on a virtual level as well, especially with our trainings. And so our training sessions employ immersive learning environments when introducing us to various subjects. And so, for example, when working with students, it does require us as advisors to be diligent and compliant on how we're delivering information to them. So, compliance trainings enlist immersive learning environments by taking us through various scenarios via video that we would frequently encounter with students. And it would provide scenarios and multiple choice questions on how we would react to those scenarios. So that way, when we are encountering them, that's something that we've already experienced and have a better time retaining because we've gone through that environment. The technique has also been employed similarly from an HR standpoint in keeping employees up to date on protocols on how they are working compliantly within their company. So it's interesting. It can be used both for student facing and then also for the advisors when they're learning themselves. Now, another strong example I can think of more on the K through 12 level in enlisting immersive learning environments for younger learners would be at the elementary age when first learning how to type on a computer and becoming comfortable using a keyboard. And so, that can help students with, their word per minute rate, as well as, not being able to look at the keyboard while they're typing. And there are games that allow students to practice how they position their fingers on the keyboard and memorize where each letter is while engaging them in video game activities. And so the game aspect helps with engaging the students and entertaining them, while it's also providing them the opportunity to retain the information with the keyboard through repetitive motions and muscle memory. So, for example, if there's a race car game and a student can power the car for how fast they're typing and being able to correctly type the letters that are presented to them on the screen. And so, while I do find that this can be incredibly beneficial in classrooms and training sessions with adult learning, it shouldn't be an end all be all. Rather, instead, a tool that can enhance content that is already present, especially with how fast technology has begun to integrate within everything. At times, I find it still really important to have that hands on learning experience when possible. Now, of course, for an online learning environment, this may not always be possible, but just on a subjective and personal level and learning preference, that's how I feel. Now, to piggyback off of that, when it comes to practical obstacles that one could be facing with immersive learning environments, again, with how quickly technology is advancing at times, the technology can become outdated. And this can require companies as well as school districts to have to be able to pivot quickly when necessary to keep up with that technology advancement. And then that could also have to put into consideration if that is something that's feasible with regards to a budget. So that's certainly one of the obstacles. Now, for stakeholders in various settings, they would benefit from utilizing it, though, because of the flexibility of where participants can be engaging in the content. And it opens up a lot of doors in that way. And especially with online learning, it provides the opportunity for many to access that environment who may not have otherwise been able to. We're a perfect example as online students, and it also allows many companies and schools to switch learning and working to a remote option when needed. This can also be utilized in the remote option as well, with allowing those companies and schools to stay on the same page with their curriculum. And as I had mentioned earlier, the training. So with an online college, many of us are in different parts of the country, both students, staff, and faculty. And so by utilizing this immersive learning environments with our trainings, it does allow us to all be on the same page as if we were in an office setting. So that way the students are still having a similar experience all across the board with the various staff and faculty they're working with. Also, too, it does engage the learner by utilizing interactive materials to enforce that retention of knowledge. So, in conclusion, again, while I don't find it to be an end all be all, and is certainly a helpful tool on multiple levels of learning, it still is something that is very beneficial to use, and should be encouraged. And I can only imagine and seeing where it will go as technology advances.